All right, team, once again, thank you for joining. So today, so as I mentioned, we'll be learning about, can somebody approve it? I think some issue, okay. Okay, so first of all, we'll try to understand first thing that is when actually, as we all know, we are working DevOps, right? So what is the meaning of DevOps? Let's say if I had to say, minute, right? So we have a DevOps. So if I had to say, what exactly meaning DevOps actually? DevOps has a two part, right? One is if you see here, development and then operation, IT operation. So basically, it's nothing but it gives the bridges between the development and then what you call operations. But before that, as I mentioned, we need to understand life cycle basically, or as a, like we have a different kind of SDLC, we will try to understand. So if I talk about the, if I go to the agenda, first what we will do, we'll try to understand about SDLC, what is SDLC and their benefits and type of SDLC model. Okay. Then if there are multiple, which is the right one to choose according to the requirement that we will try to understand. Then later we will definitely be try to learn everything, whatever mentioned here, everything. But as I mentioned, we need to start with the SDLC first. So as I told you, SDLC is basically it is a software development lifecycle. Now, what is software development lifecycle? We will try to see in our here diagram. So in simplest term, if we had to explain about SDLC, something called software development lifecycle models act as a organized. Okay, you have to just understand organized roadmap guiding software development from concept to launch, ensuring efficiency, quality, and smooth workflows. That means for every single of software development there we have to follow certain instruction, like we have to follow certain structure. It has to be this way and that way, like that. So that is when we have to use the software lifecycle basically models. So this is why we'll try to understand. Now here, if you notice here, first thing SDLC, we have something called as a planning. So planning means basically this is all different kind of phases, basically like phase one, phase two, phase three, and so on. Okay, so can somebody tell me, if I say the planning, what it means basically? Because as I told you, software lifecycle development is not life cycle is nothing but basically it is a way of organizing your work in a way that it has to be basically structure. So if I had to say planning, so there are planning, defining, designing, then building, and then behavior testing, and then deployment. So anybody who knows about what is planning? What exactly it comes when I say planning? Okay, no problem. Planning is nothing but, let's say, it is basically first thing you will come have three things here. First thing you will have a requirement. So at Adnan mentioned, right? We have a requirement. Okay, that is the first thing. What else then? Then we also have to see the access after requirement. Once you gather the requirements, like basically we need to know what is the requirement in the project, right? Without having any clarity, we cannot do a thing or design anything. So this is the planning phase. Basically this is called as a planning phase, where we will gather all the requirement from the project, or maybe for the particular projects. Okay, then also we need to see the access feasibility. Access feasibility means whether this particular things according to the requirement or anything, whether this can be it is feasible to our requirement or not, or maybe according to the requirement. That also we need to see. Okay, and also this is called a, like a as I mentioned, is a feasibility. So feasibility. Okay, then next, after feasibility, what else we have? We also need to have a project scopes. What is project scopes now again? Project scope, SCOP. Okay, project scopes. So these three things are very important as part of the planning phase. That means first you need to understand what is the requirement for this particular projects. That means you are gathering all the requirements of the project. Second is you have to see whether it is feasible or not for this thing particular project. And also you have to also identify as part of this project requirement whether it is part of the scope or not. Basically, what kind of scopes in common, like what is your major responsibility would be as part of this project. So you have to understand your scope as well. So this is why this thing, requirement, feasibility, and the project scope, these three part of your planning phase. So once you gather or get all details or informations about requirement, then feasibility, then project scopes, once you're able to identify all the stuffs, then comes that is called as a defining. Now question is, what is defining then? Defining is nothing but whatever we have discussed or we have basically understood here. All these things we need to have the proper, what do you call, we need to have a proper documentations. Let's say, for example, I want to do this and that, whatever, so and so. You need to have a proper documented way, right? You need to organize your work in order to basically complete your task or anything. So you should be very much clear what to and all requirement is there, or how, what we have to do it, everything we need to do it here in your defining. That is your this phase two. Okay, let's say including your what is here, what do you call that, uh, y- let's say, which is technical or non-technical related things also, we need to have it here, defining phase. Once you have the documentations ready, everything as part of these requirements, then comes to the what is it, designing. As I mentioned here, we will have documents, basic doc. This is documentation part. We will gather all the information from here, and we will document it well according to the requirement and mention all requirement over here. Then based on this one, what we have to do, we have to create the designing. We have to design because requirement is clear. Designing, we have our documentations, everything ready, so that we can design now. Design what? Based on these two, planning, and the planning is there. This one, defining phase, because we have the documentation also, what to be created or not created, what kind of infrastructure they want, or maybe architectural they want to define. We have all the documented such a way that this thing, so that we can refer this one. Based on this one, we can also here design, like this is common designing design here mean basically what is it, technical design. I can mention simple case, tech design. Okay, here technical design, DSINN. Okay, technical design or system design, I can call it. Basically, it's nothing but based on your requirement, you should be knowing what is my requirement for this project. Based on that, you need to design it. That it could be UI design, UX design, and all. It will all include here. Okay. Next, after this thing design we get, as a developer, what they will do is that they will build here. Means according design is not enough, because you need to build it, right? So you have to develop the software, right? You need to develop the software. Who's going to develop the software? That is the developer. So based on this design everything, then as a developer, you're going to basically here develop. Okay, you have to develop the software. Okay, once you develop the software, then what is next? Then you need to do the testing also, right? Because software you have built it, I mean you have created, or maybe you have implemented the software, but software directly we cannot be used. We need to basically do a test also. So in order to test, or maybe in order to know whether your code, whatever you have built it, or maybe implemented, or maybe not implemented, basically uh, written the code, whether it is working as part of the company standard or not. How do you know that? This is why we need to do a testing also here. So testing, uh, we have to do a different kind of testing. We have some such a like functionality testing, security testing, and performance testing. So all the security testing, performance testing, and then we have a functionality testing. All this will be done in here testing. After testing only, then only we can deploy our code where. Then only we can deploy this here. Deploy where? Particular respective environment. Let's say you want to deploy to this thing, what I call. Once everything good, we can deploy to a respective cloud environment. It could be or maybe on-prem, whatever, depends on, again, based on the like requirement of the project, right? So this is the in simple overview. That means first thing when I say SDLC is nothing but if I had to talk in SDLC, is nothing but it is a structured process used to develop software efficiently, okay, with a high quality. Say for example, as I told you, whatever we are doing now, we have organized such a way that first our requirement should be very much what is required we have identified, then whether it is feasible or not we have identified, and what are the scope as part of the projects, this thing you have also identified that. Based on that you have made a documentations, then only based on the documentations or designing phase we will design it according to whatever has been defined here. Then we will design. When after designing, then what we will do, they will build the basically we will develop the application, we'll develop the code, or maybe it could be any kind of code, application or infrastructure or anything. Okay, they will develop that one, then they will do a testing, then only we can deploy to respective environment. This is the high level of SDLC meaning. Now we all know there are different types of SDLC. There are two types, not two types, there are many actually. Okay, but some of them, one of them, like we have a waterfall. If I had to say what is waterfall again, waterfall is nothing but it is a traditional way. Traditional. Traditional means, as you know, whatever, let's say example, you might be hearing about the virtualizations or anything. I'll not go in details. Say for example, traditional mean you may have your computer, the server, you have a hardware, right? You have your hardware. Then what happen in hardware, when you buy any server, within the hardware you may have other components, let's say memory, rams, everything, all the configuration. So basically based on the requirements, what you do is that you buy that and then you use it, right? A traditional way. Similar way here also, similar way we can think of that way. So if you see, check the definition, waterfall model is a, you just need to understand this, it is a sequential and in linear software development approach where each phase must be completed. Okay, each phase must be completed before moving to the next. It follows the structure flow including stages like requirement, design, implementations, testing, development, and maintenance. This model is known for its rigid planning, extensive documentation, and limited adaptability to changing requirements, making it less suitable for dynamic and evolving projects. It is very clear. So, say for example, let me clear this one. Okay. Okay. Say for example, this is a requirement first. Just like SDLC requirement, basically, as I told you, you will get all the requirement of the projects. You will have a requirement. What is what is a requirement? What kind of feasibility scope? Everything you have defined. Then based on then, basically, as I told you, you will be analyzing it, right? You have to analyzing it. So after analyzing it, then what have to do? You have to implement it. Then we have to verification need to be done. Let's say whether this particular stress, whether it is working everything as expected or not. Then we will develop, definitely we will deploy, and then we will maintain. Say for example, now you are somewhere here. This is done. This phase also done. But clearly, if you understand here, where is that? Here must be completed. That means once you complete this only, second task we can do this one. Then third stage they can do. Then fourth stage and so on. Okay. That means for each stage it has to be completed individually, individual stage. Let's say if you're working with this particular stage, this has to be completed. Then only you can go with the second stage, then third stage, and so on. Now, this all completed. Say for you are here now. That means this all above stage, whatever I have mentioned, it is all completed. You are somewhere here now. Now, while deploying, there is some issue. Say in the code or application level or code level is having issue. Then what happens here? You cannot go back directly and do a changes. If you had to once again, you have to fix the issue, right? You have to fix the issue. Mean what you have to do is that again you need to rework. Meaning whatever you have to plan again once again, get proper details. What is that? Then you have to analyze again properly and then implement everything. Then verification and so on. That means you are actually wasting all the time because this takes maybe let's say 20 days and so on. Here also let's say 7 days like that. If you have it, what happens that you will it will take again lot of you are wasting your time also, because you have completed till 4 stages, right? You are in the 5th stage now, and you're having issue, not other way. Then what happened now? Again, you need to go back to the here, and you have to complete one by one all the stages once again. That means you have to redo your work. You have to rework everything from scratch again. Then what happens? You're wasting your time. First of all, it is going to waste your time first thing, right? So if you're wasting time means also you cannot deliver your project on time, because you have to do it will take time for you again to build everything from scratch, right? So this is one of the biggest challenges here. So this is why I say it is a sequential and linear software development approach where is phase must be completed. So if you're working with particular this thing, it has to be complete. Then and second, then only you can do it. Okay, this is a thing. Now, second thing is that if you talk about what you call here dynamic, and we have evolving projects. Okay, that means if we have because we all know nowadays, we every single day there is a technology being always released or changed, everything, right? New technology being involved. So if there is any changes happen or in the project, let's say the project requirement gets changed, right? Let's say project requirement gets changed, means you have to change everything. That will be biggest problem, right? So in this case, this approach is not at all useful. It is not at all useful because we cannot use it, because nowadays, as we all know, we are working the dynamic this thing and also every single project they will be having different things will be evolved. So we can't trust, we can only like what whatever we understand, we cannot have only that. So it can be anything according to the requirement, they can change anything, right? So it can evolve anything. So that is why using this particular waterfall model will be difficult for us to basically work. This is why we have to use other model. I will explain there also what are the pros and cons we have it. Let's say we have a, but here means if you want to work with the waterfall, you should have a proper plan. Okay, and predictable lifetime. That means if you can predict the timeline, everything, then it's okay through testing and a well-defined rules. If you're 100% sure this is what the requirement is, it should not be any other changes, then you can go with this waterfall. But it is a very traditional old methods, I'm saying it. And but what is the cons? It is a inflexibility, limited feedback, high risks of failure, repetitive, not for complex projects. So obviously we nowadays every single project will be complex only, and it will be feedback will be limited, because as I told you, you cannot give feedback for every single phase. If you do one particular phase, if you do any feedback, we need to again based on the feedback do it from the again the phase one. Okay, so this is not meant for the complex projects. So when we can use this thing, if we have a well-defined small project with the experienced teams and little change risks, in this case, we can use this waterfall. But trust me, nowadays, even the small company or small project also, they do not use this particular concept called waterfall model. Okay. Anyway, these are some of the challenges we face. You can have a look later when you get time. I'll give this PPT to you. We have something called as a risk management at the beginning. Then we have a late quality assurance. Then limited visibility, employee autonomy, and then we have a cost implications. These are there. Obviously, this will be there because, as I told you, every single task need to be completed, and if there is any issue, we need to again redo or maybe rework your things. So a lot of complex there. So this is why we are actually introducing something called as agile. And agile is in today's market, especially agile methodology is something which is every single company, whether it is big or small, they are actually using this agile methodology. Okay. Now, agile methodology, if you see the definition, agile methodology is a adaptive and iterative approach to software development that emphasizes flexibility, okay, collaborations, and customer satisfaction. These three are very important: flexibility, collaboration you can do, and then also customer satisfaction. It focuses on the delivering working software incrementally, okay, and responding to changes quickly, prioritizing individuals and interactions. Then common framework includes Scrum. We also have a Kanban. Agile allows for continuous improvement and yearly delivery of features, making it well suited for dynamic and evolving project. So as I mentioned, nowadays every single project, one or the other requirement may change, or maybe some new features will going to be updated, right? So this is why this agile methodology can help us a lot. Now, if I see here, first thing, plan phase, we will do a plan based on the requirement, what is there or not, and we will do a design. After design, then we, based on the design, we will do develop the code, and then we will test it, and we will what I call deploy it. And then according to that, if there is anything, we can also have a review here. Let's say if you want to review here, now after reviewing here, that means here this particular deploy part, let's say any issue comes, let's say uh, if there is any issue, what happens now, you don't have to design once again. You don't have to design everything. So wherever particular phase, if you have an issue, you can make changes accordingly according to the requirements. That is why it says now it is a dynamic and evolving project. So you don't have to worry about like just like a waterfall where every single phase you need to complete. It is not how it works in agile methodology. Here you can do changes anything you like to, because how is it possible? This is something called as a, we have a sorry, CI/CD pipeline. Okay, with the help of CI/CD pipeline, we have Azure CI/CD pipeline, right? So we can deploy CI/CD mean continuous integration, continuous delivery. So with the help of, let's say if you do some changes, every single piece of the code, whenever you change, that can be tested basically. When you have tested also, deploy also you can check. If they implement any issue, they can reward. Testing time also, if you want, you can identify whatever issue. So that's way. So that means only with the help of DevOps practice, what we can do is every single core of piece of code, we can have a good test, and then based on that, if there is any changes required, you can do it there itself instead of going back all the way to the designing and all everything development and all not required. Okay, this is the advantage of having basically what you call agile methodology here. Now these are some of the agile principles. There are 12 actually, but you don't have to understand this one, but for your understanding, yes, you can do have a look once. Okay, these are things you can as you know, like agile principles are foundational values guiding software development, emphasizing customer satisfaction, adaptability, collaborations, and the delivery of working software. They prioritize individual and interactions, responding to change and continuous improvement. So this is the maze. First thing we need to, we are thinking, I mean, we are focusing on the, you have to prioritize your work. Let's say, be, where is there? Here, satisfaction, right? Customer satisfaction also we need to look. We need to adaptability. Adaptability, it can be changed anything, anytime, depends on the requirements. And also you can also collaboration, you can also be done within the team or different team. So if you have this kind of features, definitely your work will be much faster, right? Because easily you can do changes wherever you want, and you can also have a direct communication between the teams or maybe different teams, or maybe product owner, or maybe application owner, whatever it is, right? So that is why it can actually be faster for us in order to deliver the product actually. And these are the some of the principles. You can have a look later, maybe customer satisfaction, changing requirement, frequent delivery, collaboration, and motivated individuals, then face-to-face communication. These all as part of the agile methodology, we have this kind of these principles. Okay, and flexible agile pros and cons. Flexibility, customer satisfaction, and a continuous improvement. So flexibility means as and when there is any changes is required or needed, that time we can change it according to the requirement. Then next, we can also have the something called as a customer satisfaction. That is very important, right? If you had to deliver some product, customer has to be satisfied with your quality of work. Then only you can make them happy. Then continuous improvement, so based on the customer feedback or maybe this thing, we can also improve as and when there is anything that to be changed or modified. And then we have a cons like requires active customer involvement. Customer need to be always give you feedback according to the requirement. I mean the what is it there according to the that what I call the process, in the sense, let's say you do some testing here, customer need to tell that okay, this is it is working fine, so we are good here, we can do another test, or maybe we can add some other features, so we can have that kind of thing. That means that even customer need to be very much active in this case, they have to involve every time, and it will maybe challenging for a large project if you have so much project in order to uh, communicate with the customer, also another challenging. But still, as I say, this project still being the most in today's market, basically every company using this agile methodology only. Okay. um okay, so as we all know, what are the difference between the agile methodology and the waterfall? So it can have a look. We have some flexibility, it has a flexibility and customer collaboration, we can fast delivery, improve collaborations and everything, and also risk management, quality assurance, then increase visibility, then we have employee satisfaction, and then also cost savings. So these are the benefit of using this thing. Now these are some of the benefits. Now if I talk about the DevOps, right? DevOps, we all know, right? DevOps is a collaborative approach that bridges the gap between software development or dev and then IT operation or the ops. It emphasizes automation, continuous integration, and continuous delivery to streamline the software development lifecycle. That means, as a DevOps engineer, what is your role here? Whatever, like say, as a developer, would definitely be working on the code base, and operation will be taking care of the monitoring or any kind of things. Now, in between, being as a DevOps engineer, it is your responsibility to basically fill the gap between the development and the operations. So let me give one example. Uh, okay, let me give one example. Okay, say for example, this is basically dev or a development. Okay, this is a, sorry, my bad. This is basically dev, and we have here ops or operation. Ops. Okay, this is basically a dev. Now, now let's say this developer, what they will do, they will modify the code, they will do changes, everything, they have done everything. They have given the code and they have tested the code locally. The code is tested here locally. Local. In the local, they have tested the code, and then code is working fine here. Now next time, the same code is given to here somebody. I mean, they are given to maybe you have to give to this person operation, because operation works also. Initially, I'm saying before the DevOps concept, even their work also to basically provision infrastructure or maybe anything they want to do changes, they have to work here also. Now problem is, whatever they are giving the code, they will do everything. It is working fine here, but when they check, they're not working. It is not working fine properly. So now then they will stuck here issue, because they'll have a issue, they will have a issue will be erased here. Once they issue, when they will stuck the work, they cannot basically uh, progress anymore, because if anything is going on wrong here, then their work will be stuck here. But here they think it is working fine because we have tested locally, right? Now in your thing now, then now how this, because this, as you know, the operation team, they no coding, they don't have any coding knowledge, no coding. Let's say they don't have any coding knowledge, this person develops something, how this person can fix the issue, right? They cannot fix the issue because they may not know. If there are some people who knows it also, but still there is no, it's not a good way, because they cannot fix every single piece of code as the like developer. So this is the reason why our concepts called DevOps, DEBO, DevOps, this come into picture. So they will basically bridge the gap between these two person. How is it possible? Okay, because now, as I mentioned, that means as a developer, as name suggests, dev in, this person as a DevOps engineer would have some knowledge in the development. not in the advanced, but some point they have some enough knowledge according to the what is been rule according to their work, right? They will have some knowledge as a DevOps engineer about the development related. Now, at the same time, this person also have some knowledge in the operations, right? This person have a knowledge between development and the operations. Then let's say instead of, if you see now this person, there is a communication gap, right? Because they will have a issue, they'll try to fix. It will take 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 5 days, 1 month also. Then end of the again they will go back here again and ask. Again they will test it here. They will try to fix the issue. Again they fixed it. Again when it comes after some day, again some other issue. This is one of the biggest problem in traditional way, right? So in order to fix or in order to basically bridge the gap between this development and the operation, this is why this DevOps engineer or DevOps comes into picture, because his responsibility is to understands the code level also what has been designed or this person, because they will do a testing and everything, they will do it everything according to the development instructions, and they will check everything working fine. At the same person itself, they will also deploy that one, so that if there is any issue also, because as I mentioned, he's the only one responsible person, so he knows it what changes he made and where he made. So for him to fix this issue also, it will not be big deals, because he knows it what modification is done here, right? So I hope this is clear, team, right? This is the simple definition, mean this is the thing. Okay, that means now this as a DevOps engineer, responsibility is to deploy this in and make this work to the production, that is the production ready. Okay, this is the in simple time, if I had to say, this is the definition of DevOps rule. Now, but let us show you. Let us understand some of the benefit why even DevOps also. Now you'll get what I explained. You will get some idea now. Say for example, now we have something called as it is a faster time to market, accelerated development life cycles. So obviously it will be faster because only one individual person or team will be working. They know everything, they know development, they know operations, so it will be easy for them to communicate as well. So if I had to explain somebody non-technical person, maybe it's difficult for them to understand the technical terms, right? So this is why DevOps can help you a lot here. Now, increase collaborations, definitely, as I told you, because only one person, they break down silos, faster teamwork. So as I told you, they can increase the collaboration also, and then we have improved quality. Definitely this will be possible. Then reduce risks and cost efficiency. Obviously cost also, if you can make your ready, I mean make your things, everything whatever possible you can automate, that also can save a lot of costs. And also the enhance scalability. Scalability means nothing but anything that is possible you need to make, you basically need to make as a automated way. Let's say you want to provision the infrastructure, it has to be automated way you have to do it. So this is why DevOps can help you here. And some of the benefits, as I mentioned, this is again same as what is been discussed, so we can ignore this one. Okay, now question is, if I talk about the collaboration and communication, what basically it means. Collaboration means nothing but you might, anyway I will cover this later. We have something called as a Azure DevOps board. Azure DevOps board, we have this thing. Let's say what we can do is here, we can there is a board in Azure DevOps, and we can have something called as, we can enable team plan, we can track, we can discuss work. Say for example, if there is any challenges or any issue, this can be planned according to the this thing instructions, and we can track also where you are, like is there any issue, maybe you want to basically what is here, understand where we are into. So based on that, we can also maybe suppose one person is stuck here, other person who are good at that level of work, they can help you here also. So easily they can track also what till where we are reaching. Okay, then also the discuss if there is any challenges also can be discussed. So anyway, this particular thing you don't have to understand because this is at all not required for now. But anyway, you will learn this one when you, but anyway, this if you want, you can go through once again this one. Okay. This also we can go through DevOps pipeline. This is important. So I think Agile is okay. Now let us come to the point. We have understood basic what is Agile and everything. Now let me show you uh, how. Let me go back. There is some Azure DevOps. It will be mostly dev dot. Yeah. If you see here, there is a URL. This is a dev.azure.com. It's nothing but this URL is meant for Azure DevOps portal basically. Just like if you remember, we do have a portal.azure.com, right? That is to log in your Azure portal. Portal.azure.com is what we use in order to log in to your Azure portal. Yeah, you can now enter. You can ignore now. I don't have anything because I have login with some other ID, but usually I should be logging to another my account. That's okay. Just to show you, this is the portal that is a portal.azure.com is what we are going to use in order to log into your Azure portal now. Same way, if you want to work in Azure DevOps, or maybe as let's say your work is Azure DevOps role, or maybe you're working into somewhere something called as a what is it agile methodology or anything, you will be using something called as Azure DevOps portal here, right? Dev dot instead of portal you can mention dev.azure.com, you will be giving it. Okay, now let me show you. If you give dev.azure.com, this is how this is going to be popping up for you. Say for example you are new and you want to create accounts, you simply create go to the URL as I mentioned, this one. Click here. As you click there, something like this will come. There is something called as, if you notice here, get started with Azure. That is under Azure DevOps. You can see plan smarter, collaborates better, and ship faster with setup modern dev services. So if you're working with the DevOps engineer, or maybe if you want to log into the Azure DevOps portal, you can sign in here. I mean, you can get started with Azure if you use like that. Uh, Basically, let me see. Sometime maybe I have to log into my incognito mode. Sometimes it is taking me towards a portal only. But anyway, if you first thing, we need to have account for this. Okay. Here also in Azure DevOps here, DevOps. If you see here, again, it is taking me to the this thing. What is a portal? Their portal. So I need to log in something. It will again taking me here. So what we can do is instead of this one, because I was logged in before, that is why. Maybe I can simply type dev.azure.com, get started, contact, support, like that will come. So we have to log in with the sign in like there. We can sign if you don't have. If you can see here, there is an option. You can log in with your Microsoft ID, or you can log in with your GitHub if you have it, GitHub account. Okay, GitHub account also you can use it. Okay, if you have a GitHub account you can use it, or if you don't want to log in with the GitHub account, then you can log in with the Azure account also. Maybe you may confuse here, let me show you once. I forgot my password. Okay, so I cannot, but I'll try to log in. Let's see. uh, because it's been a long time I didn't log in, but let me check. Okay, I think let me check. Okay. MFA. You need to basically log in to your this thing also. Okay, I'm checking my ID. Okay, maybe I have to type ID is 315. you have to configure this also. This is second level of authentications. Okay, so I will type. Oh, looks good. I don't know if I have this thing because it is long time I have not used it. But anyway, yeah, this is how we can basically see. You can see your subscription as well. In my case, I do have one subscription right now. There are two actually. One got disabled last time. Anyway, this is the portal we have it. So maybe who are new, anyway, for them, I will give them separate class. Don't worry if you don't understand what is this portal used for. This basically will be used specifically if you want to work with Azure services in using the GUI mode. You will be using this portal, okay, portal.azure.com. And there is another, as I mentioned, that is a dev.azure.com. I can directly log into my, once you sign in, let's see here. I can select maybe same this ID, or I can select different one. I don't know which one I was using before, but anyway, let me try. Think- Okay, anyway, I don't remember which one I was using it. Anyway, try to log in with this one. Sit 7. Okay. Anyway, it is taking me directly GUI mode. You can ignore this one. Okay, actually, I don't know why sometimes it's redirecting me to the againportal.com. So I will directly go to the URL where I have already. Maybe you can try staging this, and this is my, I was using already before. So I'll directly switch to there. Yeah, like something like this will come. You have to sign in with your accounts. Maybe in my case, I'll try to with this ID. Let's see if I can log in. Yeah, I can log in. So yeah, this is how the portal, once you sign up, as I told you, you can sign up with your GitHub account or your Azure account. So if you have it, or you have to create, if you don't, you can create new also. So first thing what we need to understand here, this is basically Azure portal. If you just notice till here, dev.azure.com is nothing but Azure DevOps portal. Okay. Now, as soon as you click, these all whatever you are seeing, you can ignore this one. These all are actually a project. Now, don't worry about this project. First thing, you will have something like this. As soon as you create a profile, you will have to create one organizations. Now, if you see here organizations, there is an organization, right? I have two organizations. This one I don't use this one. Maybe I can delete this. Uh, anyway, so this is the thing. Now, if so what I will do, I will create new. If you see here, there is a way to create organizations. Let me create new. Now it is asking me to log in once again. See, if you log in, I need to basically get started with Azure DevOps. Okay. Now, as soon as I create for the first time, you'll get also like this. This is the URL, and this is basically if you see your name, your Azure DevOps organizations, right? Now, I need to give the organization name based on my requirement. Let's say I work for XY company, right? I work for XY company. You can mention a company name or maybe any meaningful name you can give as an organization name. In my case, I just mentioned XY company, just for example. And we are in Bangalore, I mean, India. And you can just type here. It is MMPKK6L. Okay. It is going to create new organization for now. Let's wait for some time. Yes. As soon as I create the new organization, XY company organizations, and I have something called as a basically, if you see here, under this organization, I do not have any projects, right? So I need to create a project. And we have what we call create a project to get started. I can create a project called as this Agile project, let's say. Mm, just for simplicity purpose. Or I can give any infra 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 related project. I can give just any name you can give, actually zero. I can give as 2025 infra project. Okay. Now, if you notice here, just notice guys this one. Under visibility, there are two. One is public and private. Okay. So if you're using a product, in my case, now it is a private. Let's make it public. Now option is not there here. And it is just helping me. I mean, I need to create here. But you can only see this one. Okay. But I will not create this time. Well, I'll just copy the project name because I want to show you something. Let me refresh it. Maybe I need to switch. Maybe 1 second, go back. Sorry, XYZ company. Now, if you notice that time this was not available, only I could see this one, right? Now, if you see this was private anyway, this one, if you see it was not available that time, now it is there. So I will give this time. Question is, what is this again? Why do I bother this one? Yes. If you see your public projects are disabled for your organization, you can turn to public visibility with here. There is something called as a organization policy where you can do a changes. But this is not a thing for me. I can do it anytime. Let it be as private for now. But if you notice here below, this is called under advanced tab. It was not there initially when I created organizations, and when I tried to create first projects with same name, it was showing only till here. But now you could see with the advanced tab where you can select version control and what I say that work item process. Maybe you might be thinking, let if you had to select here, you can see Git. As I mentioned, right now in Azure DevOps, Git is the latest one, which is as a version control, we are using it, right? So this is why we learn locally also how to work Git. So that is why I selected as a Git while creating the project. Second, work item. Work item is very important. If you're working with the Agile methodology, we have to select Agile, and basic mean basic, and there is something called as a CMMI and Scrum. So as I told you, we are going to select the Agile. But question is, what is the difference between Agile and others? Well, for Agile basically has a, according to the requirements, the Agile methodology, it has all the features within the particular repo or maybe project, you can say. When it comes to the other Scrum or anything, they may not have what Agile offers. Okay, if you want, I can show you also just for our better understanding. But for now, let me keep as Agile and create new project. It's gone somewhere else. Okay, let me refresh it sometime. I don't know why it's coming, but anyway. Okay, go back. Okay, this got created, right? Now let me create new project in the same organizations. I mean, yeah, organizations. This time I will create as maybe project. I'll just mention others just for simplicity purpose. I will click here. Let me click this time basic. Okay, before I selected this one, I kept as Git, but here I selected as a basic. So let us understand the difference now. All right, so I can see there are two projects within same organizations called XYZ. And what is organization first? we will understand that. So I will go back here a little bit of this thing. So I'll try to maybe, okay, that's okay. Then I can show you here. Okay. Now I will simply create one empty folder and file here. Okay. Now, whatever we are doing, I will just give a small thing. First, let's say what we have something called as a, we have a DevOps portal, right? DevOps portal. Here we have something called as a dev.azure.com, something like that, right? Now under here, under this here, once we log in, what we can see the organizations. Okay, if you see here, I can show you once. Okay, we'll maybe see. Okay, we can see organization. Under organization, what we did, we created a project. Okay, then what is next? First, we'll have organizations. Organization nothing but you can have a n number of projects within the organization. That means organization is something is based on the project. They'll be having one isolated complete requirements where they will define or have different kind of projects. So that means it can be company name or can be anything XYZ name. You can give any name as organizations. First we have organizations. Second we have a project. It can be not just one project. It can have a 10, 15, 20 projects. Depends on each project, what is the purpose, right? Now let's say I have here under organization, I created a project, two projects I created, right? Now under each project, I will have something called as a repo. That is again a Git. What exactly I'm trying to say is that whenever I log into the dev.azure.com, I will be popping up or you will be seeing screen as a here to create new organizations. If you don't have it, if you have it, you will have one organization, something, any name that you can give any name. Then under this organization, you will have a project, and under organizations can have each organization can have a multiple projects, not only one or two projects. You can have a multiple projects. We really don't know exactly how many projects we can keep, but if you Google it, maybe you can find. So you can have a number of project. Okay. Then next is what is there? Under projects we have a something called as a we'll have a multiple. This also not one repo. You can also have a multiple repos. Multiple. Okay. They can have a multiple repos. And each repo is nothing but it is a Git again, version control system. So let us show you that one, so that it will be easy for you basically to this thing show you. Okay. Now, as I told you, as soon as I log into here, automatically you will have to basically you need to create a new project organizations. In my case, I have already done that using XY company something. And under here, I created two projects. If you see on that project types, I can have two projects. If you want to create more, I can create. Now, each project, this is another project I'm saying it. On the project, what we have, these are very important. Repos, that is sorry, boards, repos, pipeline, test plan, and artifacts. These 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These fives are mostly being used, including this one, wiki. Wiki is nothing but I was already explain you. Let me show you something. If you remember, in our last afternoon class, I was talking about the MD file, .md file, right? So this is also wiki we can create. Wiki is nothing but it is a way of organizing your work and also documenting in a well structured manner, so that, as I told you, if there is any new person or anything they want to refer things, they can easily go through and understand this one. So I can give as a, let's say, Azure DevOps. I'm not doing it, but just to make sure you understand it. let's say I want to type something, my name, let's say Hriyen Tripura, something like that. Now it is coming like this. But if you see what is the language we are using it, we are using something language called as a markdown. Okay, that means this MD file or the wiki in Azure DevOps, this actually the format we call as markdown language. This is called as a markdown language. Okay, the markdown. So if I had to increase the size, what I can do is I can simply double hash single size. You can see now, just with the help of one hash, now the size got increased. If I want to increase more, see, you can see here. So you have to know how much size you need. So basically you need to understand. So there is some limitation also. Up to how many I can make to see three now three hashes, right? Four hashes now this much. This big mean this much. This is bigger. Now I don't want this one. Then what should I do? Now if I want this hash also, let's say I want this hash also to be along with my name, then how is it possible? How can I make this one? Now hash is there, but hash is as a format, markdown format. Now it is not coming. Only my name is coming. But as part of my name, I want this hash also to be available. Then what I can use is you can simply use the asterisk. If I remember, I have told in just before. Now it's also showing single because I need to do it in both the side. Before the markdown, I mean hash, I have to use the same. Where is that? Okay, here. Now you see. Understood? Now you can see the hash also with the highlighted one. Maybe I don't want this also to this too. This is a little big or small. I want to adjust the font size again. This okay means what I can do is I can reduce it also. See here. Not one side, both side you have to do it like this. Now if you see what exactly now, it is little this things corner it bend. It is not straight actually. So this all we need to do it. There are many others actually you will be learning as we learn. So basically, according to the projects for each organizations, what is the applications they are using, what is the database they are using, what kind of access key or access token they are using it, or maybe what are the service are used for each service, what is the purpose, every single information will be written in the wiki itself in your Azure DevOps. I hope this is clear. Okay. Now let's come to the point, that is Azure boards. Azure boards I will not cover much for now. I will have a separate sessions. I'm just giving some idea to differentiate between the I have created one is basic, second is agile, right? If you notice as I to this is the others. Others mean if I click here work item, this is a work item. What I can see under work item, if you remember that time we selected, right, work item we selected. And for basic project, if you select a project as basic, you will see epic, and then you will see a issue, and then you will see a task. Now let me open another tab so that we can compare it. Now let me go back to the same organizations, but this time I will select the agile one, the first one, because this is the agile methodology we are using it for this one. Let me go to the boards. As soon as I click here, same thing here also I click the right. Now same thing I could see here work item, sorry, new work item. Then here also we have a new work item. Now if I click here, if you notice here, if you just notice, see here we have a bugs, epic, then features, issue, task, use case, test case, and user story. Let us see in the basic one. Basic means the others one. Now you will only see here, you can only have the epic, and then we have a issue, and then we have a task. Now that means you do not have the mass capabilities or maybe the features according to the project's requirement in your other what is it methods. But when it comes to the agile, as I told you, you have everything. Say for example, you're working with some issue, there is some bug related issue, you can create a bug issue, a bug related, you can create here. Just select this one and then mention this thing, and who you want to assign them also you will able to select. For now, don't worry, I have separate session for this one. I will explain it in details, but I'm just taking you overview. Okay. Next, we have a epic. Okay. Before that, let us understand what is all this about, each one. Okay, epic is nothing but it is a high level in your projects, high level the thing name. Example, I'm working with example. Let me do it in hands-on better. I'm showing you. Say for example, epic name. Let's say I can give as application. You will know it easily than if I explain it. Application deployment. Deploy man or implementation, whatever. Simple care. What you see here, this is a epic level. That means this is a high level basically of your project's requirements. So epic. But if I had to talk about the epic according to the Google definitions, that also what is epic in agile methodology, or you can type anything. In agile methodology, epic refers to the large body of work that are too big to be completed within a single sprint and needs to be broken down into smaller or more manageable tasks called user story. You can ignore for now, but high level means basically it is a large body of the work. That means, as I told you, this is the requirement, right? This is the application requirement, I mean deployment requirements. Now this is basically the high level. This is the largest body of your project. Now this can be, if you want to assign to somebody, because this is the one big task, right? Who will be owning this task? Let's say for example, I don't know if my name is visible. Anyway, I will try. Yes. Okay, let me select this person. Like this person owning, basically he'll be okay. I will select something else then. Okay, now we have this thing. Now here you will have all your requirements. That means this application deployment means right now you do not have any kind of information right now, right? You just know that the application need to be deployed, but do we really know what exactly need to be done in the applications, right? We do not have any clue, we do not have any idea. But then we are mentioning as a high level large body. This is why we are using a epic as a deployment, application deployment. For now, don't worry, I'm saving it. All right, now this you understood. Next we will talk about sorry, my bad. Let me go back. Okay, next we have it uh, features, and we have this thing. So how it works, you may be confused this thing. Are they really have some sequential? Answer is sometime yes. You need to understand. You need to basically break down into multiple pieces. What did I say? It's basically high level, right? Body deployment is a user story. Now under here, I need to create something called as features, tasks, or anything. So I can create under here. What can I create? User story. What is that? User story. Under epic, what we have? User story. So let me create user story also. In my case, now user story is nothing but it is a requirement of your projects. Say for example, in the application I want to deploy, but what is my expectations? Basically to deploy the applications, right? This is why I given as a, let's say, I can mention application deployment. In application deployment, you can give any name you can give. This is a high level. This is a little what is it, after epic, right? For something, some what is it, let's say I can give anything is to s for non-prod something. Let's say for depth environment, something like that. I'm just giving, making you understand in a simple way. Okay, environment. Okay, then here now you have got this requirement. You kind of sure now. Okay, this particular application need to be deployed for in the dev environment. You know, then you need to mention also here what are the maybe requirement here. Let's say user story mean exactly what you know. Let's say first do first complete one complete, let's say a, then you can mention second, you can mention you can just mention as a second, let's say, or second complete maybe B, like that, something like that. Basically all the sequence may be whatever you want, because when you're working with the application or any requirements, you'll have a steps, right? Basically, or maybe your expectations, all your sorry, your what do you call, your expectations would be mentioned here according to the requirements, right? You will be defined where under user story, clear? So you will be defining under user story. So basically user story is nothing but it is a basically way of organizing and understanding your project's requirements so that you can do it according to that. So say for example, I have given first you complete A, then you complete B, like that. Now that means this is in the what is a user story. Let me come save this. Now let me come back now. Now if you see here backlog, like this will have, but while doing this thing, if you notice how it is to be done, they are different, or maybe different state. If you see different state, you can ignore now. I will show you later how we can merge. If you want, I can show you. Maybe if you just notice here, this is a user story, right? If you see below related work, existing work item, if you have it, you can link it. Sorry, my bad. Okay, you can link it. Now if I had to link also, if you have existing, now you get something like this new. This is got basically user story under which one link type. See, there are two types. Now if I see the parents, be like that. So you need to define in our case, but which is parents now? Parents is nothing but the this thing, right? Parents is nothing but this is the parents now. So this is actually parents now. So if you go here, existing of item, this is a parents type. I can select the this one, right? This is the parents, as I told you, nothing but high level. This is my user epic is my parents now as a link type, and under here we have a user story. This is as a style. Now let me link it. If you have to do some comments, yes, you can edit. For now, okay, now you can see now this is a parents, and the parents we have something called as a style. This is the name, that is a application for deployment for dev environment. That is the thing. That is how you have to organize it. Third, okay, let me save for now. Anyway, I'll save it. Okay, now let's go back. Then we have a features. Features mean if this is feature also depends on the requirement. If any new features are there, you can use this one. Otherwise, you can use a task. After user story, what I have to create after user story task. Now, this is the user story, right? Now, if you click here, or let me create new. You can create directly, also do it from there also, if anything is okay. But in my case, I will show individually. I'll create tasks. In my case, what is that? Need to
You click
complete.
on issue actually, not task.
Sorry, what is that? Oh, sorry. Sorry. Yeah, my bad. Thank you. Yes. So, yeah, is task. Okay, here I can mention like need to complete a task. So A means if you remember in user story, I mean user story, be told that I need to first complete the user story, right? I mean I need to complete the first A, then only I need to start the B, right, in the user story. So accordingly, I just make sure you understand. That is why I given a simplest way. Need to complete task, complete A. Okay. Now, if I select here, this also again, as I told you, this task can be assigned to anybody as long as they are in the same organizations. In my case, I am the only person, or maybe if you're somebody, you can add it. Okay. Then this is the task, right? Task has to be within, if you have existing parents, you can select this one. Parents is this one. This parents is who? Epic. And then this task, who's the parents? This one, user story, like that. Now, I thought this is okay. Now, if you notice there, for each thing if you notice here, there's something called as a tag. Sorry, state. State basically behave new. Like as I told you, this is just created now. So let me save first. Okay, good. I have saved it. Now let me refresh the page. Now, okay, now you have seen this is how it is. Now, if you see there are other also, if any issue, the issue need to be defined based on a task. Remember this one, okay? Issue also need to be defined based on task. But if you're adding any other additional tasks, I mean, different requirement or features, then you can have a features flex as well. And test cases. Test case means this is not our basically work. This will be done by the test engineer. Okay, the QA from QA and anything they will be doing. User story we can do it. This will be done by developer or maybe not developer, at least by testing team. Okay, but rest we can work with that. Now till here we have understood. Now question is now what is my work here? Okay, now your work is to basically understand the basically the task. What is the task is assigned to you, not the epic level. I'm saying on the under user story we have a task assigned, right? The task level I have to see. Now if I see here Spring, we don't have anyway must know boards. Under here under user story we have a user story mean, as I told you, this basically has all these thing informations what is required. But if you notice here, before there here this is a state basically. See there are three states. We have a one new, active, resolve, close and remove. But let me show you in the normal board so that you will get some idea just for testing. I mean, I will create a, let's say epic I will create, or anything I create, just epic. That's now here if you see the state, I can only see three things. The reason is state means to do, doing and done. Okay, what is the state? To do, doing and done. But when comes to the agile, let me go back to the this thing here. If I had to let's take the same example, same you can see right under epic we have it something called as a active, resolve, close and remove. I mean new is example. Why new is anytime you are creating a new task for you. Now this is how it works basically. Now let me go to the real things. Instead of the epic, I'll go to the task so that you will be able to understand better. Okay, maybe task. Yes, this is a task assigned. No, I need to complete A. Now that means that particular task you need to work on particular task. You should not work on the high level. The application deployment is there, but they told you in the user story you have to complete this one first, right? Then you have to work in this particular issue or maybe challenges that you. It was assigned to me, or maybe if you want to assign to somebody, you can assign it. Okay. First thing is that this is a task. I have to complete this task now, right? Under task, what we have? List of steps. You might be knowing this, right? Now that means if I had to do this task or to complete this task, I need to do some of the steps, right? First complete this under to complete this one. I need to complete the step 1, step 2, step 3 and so on, right? So it's nothing but under task we have a list of steps. Now first thing, let us understand how I can assign from here directly under your task bar. Second, I can rename it if I want to rename it. Let's say then B, something like that. F1, I can rename it. Then third, state. There is a 4 states you can see. State 1 is new. This is the default behavior. Anytime you create any task or anything epic or whatever you create, by default, when it comes to the agile methodology, it will be as new. Question is why new? Because this is the default. New is nothing but it is not ready. New means you just created a task. It is not ready for you to work on the particular issue or maybe task. It is as simple. Okay. Then we have a active. Active is nothing but it is something that is you have started working on particular issue or particular task. Okay. Active means you have already started working on this particular task. And close is nothing but that you have completed your work and it is good. This particular task, this particular task, whatever I have mentioned, it is already completed. So I do not have anything to do it. I will close it. Again, while closing also, or maybe even while working also, you can have some description. But one more thing you need to understand, if there is any task assigned to you, normally you should be having some of the description or maybe the exactly expectations output expectations from your lead or maybe from your senior team. Say for example, I want to complete means I will give in some instruction to you, like you have to do this and that, then you have to do like that. Or instruction will be here. Instruction will be given basically. Okay, all instructions should be given by who? Anybody in your team who have a senior. They'll give you instruction. Let's say if it is a big complex task, they will give you. If it is small, maybe you're aware of the task, then not required. Again, this is depends on the manager or the project you're working. But it is a best practice to have the task. Task is nothing but your requirement. What exactly you need here, because you cannot blindly by seeing the task you cannot do it, right? You should know the information. Let's say I want to do a task. Let's say which application I need to do it. For example, I'm just giving example, which application need to, like that, which application, or maybe what is the what kind of user using this particular application. All these informations I'm just giving the high level. This is not the case, but I'm just giving us for you to understand. That's it. Okay, basically whatever task you assign, you have to we have to mention that one all the high level. And this is the completed. Sorry, where is that? Yeah. Then we have a remove. Remove means sometimes this particular task was assigned to you, right? Now say for example, this particular task is no longer needed. Then what do? You cannot keep in your Azure dashboard, right? This is called as Azure dashboard. You cannot keep this one. Then what do you do here? You are going to remove this one. You are going to remove this one. That is why we can use it. Anyway, for now, I will keep it as a, let's say active. Active means we are in the progress now. I can save something. Now let me go back. Look at here, something called as a task one, iteration. Basically, even this iteration also we need to create the iteration also. You can also, if you want to create, you can create the iteration. Iteration basically is nothing but it is a sprint planning. So sprint planning maybe is, I will explain anyway later, but in the high level, basically for each requirements or maybe this thing, at least according to my understanding, every 1 week or 2 weeks, normally they'll have one sprint created. Spring can be any name you can give it. They can just say, let's say I say spring 1 or iteration 1, you can give it. Okay, spring 1. Spring 1 would have a durations. If you see here, you can give it is a new state and everything. You can give details, everything, right? So basically, if you see on this particular iteration means under this particular project, which project you're working on, this particular area, but which project you're working on. You have to isolate, you have to link your projects, right? You have to link that one, and you have to mention the Spring name according to the requirement in the project, and then you have to manage this one. So basically what I'm trying to say is that, okay, once you create this thing, I will show you anyway later. Say for example, you have created, let me go back, work item. Let's say you have worked with this particular, it is, let's say today is 8, right? Let's say from last week you have been working with particular task, not in the epic level, user like a task level. Now what happened now, you have completed your task, or maybe not completed, but this particular duration has to be completed in certain time, meaning this particular need to complete task A, then the B. That means the task, this particular A should be completed within the sprint. That means within the durations. It could be sprint, can be normally it can be 1 week or 2 weeks, but when it comes to our project, we work with 2 weeks sprint. It depends on their how they plan to do. It depends on their choice. Okay, but normally 1 or 2 weeks you can have it. So that means this particular task should be done within the sprint. That means within the durations. So this will be assigned in the spring so that they can track. Now if I had to say here, let's say this is spring 1 you're working. Now I will change this one, ensure active. I can close it if it is done. If you see like this, then it is closed. But problem here is, now what problem we face is, if you just see here, where is that? Okay, it is gone, right? So it is difficult. If you notice here, it is difficult for us to manage everything here. So this is why they create a spring here. So spring can help you to basically see the changes. See, there is a definite spring, right? Iteration 1, 2, and so on. So based on the spring, you will know which project, which task you're working, what is the challenges, and everything you will get to know there. Okay. So there are many things basically are there, but for now you don't have to understand what is spring in simple term. As I told you, basically to what I say, monitor or track your whatever you are working on. Let's say if you're working with a task 1, whether you're able to complete on time or not. If it is not on time, what are the challenges you face and how you can fix the issue, or maybe if you need any help. This all will have a, this is something called a spring call will have. Spring call also, because sometimes they also call it DSU, daily standard call, or maybe you can call as Scrum Master call. Okay, so in there actually they will discuss everything in details by checking your status. For each status, let's say you're working with user story, and that we have multiple steps, right? I mean tasks. Based on that, they will discuss individually. So that is the first thing. And also, if you see here, as I told you, every single changes that you're working on, it will be moved like this. See, there is something called history. This can be tracked. Say, for example, created by user story this time, and this also again, this will be version control. So anything you are doing anything, every single changes will be tracked. Okay. So this is the benefit of using this thing. So yeah, I think we are good for now. Anyway, don't worry. Tomorrow we will cover some more topic. If you don't understand for the first class, no worry. I will explain everything tomorrow again. Once again, this particular topic, that is project related, or maybe this particular repo pipeline. Pipeline also I will cover tomorrow because I don't want to take too much of this thing for now. We'll cover test plan and artifacts, what we can do. Once again, having said that, this all will be, I will be covering tomorrow once again, board, then we have it, what is repos and everything we'll be covering tomorrow. Okay, so for now, maybe, yeah, we can see the difference between Agile and other thing, whatever benefits we have it. But having said that, as I told, we will start tomorrow again. So yeah, thank you once again. I will stop the recording for now. We can discuss offline. Yeah. Have a nice day. Thank you, everyone.